We're going to go to the Boulder app. We'll see this Welcome to Boulder landing page. To enroll, the patient will tap Enroll Now. They'll see an introduction, contact information, and a disclaimer. They'll tap Get Started. The flow is pretty intuitive. So the first few screens are for confirming insurance eligibility. So this first field is for the patient's primary state of residence, how they'll pay for treatment, whether it's insurance or out of pocket, or they'll tap I'm not sure if they're not sure. They can search for their insurance provider, like so. I'm going to go ahead and tap Medicare. If they live in a specific county, they can indicate, input the referral code if applicable. They'll then tap this Let's Get Started Enrolling button at the bottom. This screen is for treatment that the patient is interested in, how they heard about Boulder. And then here we're getting the patient's demographics information. So first name as it appears on their ID or insurance card, preferred name, like they have a nickname, and then their last name, birth date, pronouns, and gender. If their gender is different from what's on their insurance or ID, they can tap that checkbox there. This is where they input their insurance information, so they'll just take a picture of the front and back of the card just with their phone camera, which is it's pretty intuitive, easy to do. If they don't have their insurance card with them, they'll just tap this box right here. And then this is where they input their member ID. Again, if they don't have it on hand, they can tap this box and an enrollment specialist will follow up for their insurance information. So this screen is just indicating that. And this is where the patient will share their contact information. So I'm just going to put a placeholder right here. And then optionally, you can add an email. I'm going to go ahead and add mine here. This checkbox indicates the patient agrees to receive SMS text messages and emails. We send a text message to tell the patient when they're eligible for their pop-in clinic visit, and also to prompt them when it's time for them to join their visit when they're waiting in the queue. But if they don't feel comfortable with that, they don't have to check that box. And this is where they'll input their home address. So I'm going to put in placeholder information, like so. And if they're houseless or if they have a different mailing address, they'll just check the appropriate checkbox here. One thing to note is at the bottom of every screen in this enroll flow, there is a phone number that the patient can tap if they need to call for help, if they need assistance. This screen is where the patient will input their preferred pharmacy information, just right here, the name and address. And if they don't know it, or they don't want to do it right now, they can just tap, I'll do this later. And then to submit, they just need to tap complete. And this screen says all done, welcome to Boulder, instructs the patient now to sign into their Boulder app, and indicates that they will see a few brief tasks to complete on their home screen. So they can just tap sign in at the bottom. If they signed up with just a cell phone number, they can input that information here. I'm going to sign in with email, so I'm going to type that in. And because I signed up with email, or I'm inputting my email address here, I'm going to be getting a code that I need to submit to log in, and I'm going to be getting that via my email. Now, if I was signing in with my cell phone, I would get a code via text, but I'm going to check my email right now, and I just got the code. So there it is. And then input date of birth that the patient used during sign up, which is their date of birth. And this is the home screen of the Boulder app. The patient can go here anytime and any important relevant information they'll see here, or they'll see a badge with a message or a notice if they need to read that. So the first thing that the patient will need to do is just go through all these tasks here for identity verification, sharing insurance information, and a couple authorizations and agreements. And tapping on the task, it's guided and pretty intuitive, just like what we saw with the enroll flow. When it's time for the patient to do their first intake visit, they'll get an SMS text message, and it'll tell them to go to the app to complete their visit. They'll see a big button here that the patient can tap, and it will guide them to the pop-in clinic where they can complete their first visit. So it'll be pretty guided. If at any point until then the patient does have trouble and needs assistance, they can get help by tapping this top right icon to open up the menu and then tap on messages. On that page is where they can send a message to get assistance if they need help during this introduction phase.